So first of all, thank you for joining. This is our webinar on how to manage hybrid offices with an intelligent booking solution. This is a short webinar just to sort of talk through and directly around the kind of booking element. I'm your host, I'm Lucy Fox, and I'm VP at Open Sensors. In today's session, we're going to cover why booking solutions are vital to the success of hybrid working models, how booking data forms a central part of understanding and managing your workplace, and how our intelligent booking solution with integrated sensor technology and analytics enables teams to overcome the historic challenges posed by traditional tools. Most organisations have expectations of employees having flexibility to be in the office on some days, and some days either working from home or on an alternative site. So when people are going to the office, they're going to the office for a specific purpose, either to collaborate, to go for meetings, but almost invariably there's going to be some desk space involved for some or part or all of the day. So what we're going to be exploring today is how a booking solution is so critical at this point in time, especially when some people are making decisions right now as to whether they should be reducing the amount of desk space. And some of the queries and questions that are asked quite regularly is the number of employees that are returning and on what days and when. And also how to ensure that the office or all the workplaces areas are an engaging place for people that want to come into to engage with. So it's critical to have the right space available at the right time, but we'll cover more on that later. The reason we're talking about intelligent booking solutions is actually looking at the historic behaviours of how people used room booking. So room booking, there were often the queries and questions around overbooking. So booking multiple meeting rooms and not turning up. Therefore, that space couldn't be booked by somebody else, but was also left vacant, which led to people going, oh, well, let's go and find a space. All these look booked out. We'll just walk around because we'll find a space that's available and jump in there. Now, we all found those frustrations when we're looking at booking rooms, but that will be compounded when we start looking at seats, especially if you're looking at how to manage that desk space and the impact that would be if people can't find a space to work, or worse, they can't come into the office because they perceive there to be no space when in fact there is plenty. So let me walk through some of that. I'm going to start by talking through how the solution actually works. And on here, a little video put together purely to save any Wi-Fi issues on my side to be able to show you. So on here, this shows you, and some use this on a screen within their office environment. The circles are desks or seats, and the squares are rooms. On here, for rooms, for example, this is showing the capacity of the room. So it's showing the capacity of the rooms that are there. So capacity of 2, for example, or a 4. If the space is green, it is saying it's available. If it's red, it's occupied or it's booked. You will also notice on here there is amber. Amber was used very much throughout the pandemic for those offices that needed to remain open for recently used, where active cleaning was needed, and also to look for touchdown space. So if I was to go into the office, it wouldn't be an unnatural behaviour for me to put something down at my desk and then walk away and grab a cup of coffee or go and have a short meeting before I come back. So the recently used was to cater for that space. And in some touchdown spaces, that's still going to be relevant. But mostly now people are looking at booked, occupied, or available. So the most common on here is you would see green is available and red is either booked or it's occupied. What I've just shown you there is seeing some of those lights go on and off. What that is the sensors capturing movement or heat. So our sensors will capture the fact that there is presence. It sends that data to a LoRaWAN gateway. And that gateway is working off radio frequencies, so it will not touch your Wi-Fi infrastructure. There is a SIM card in those gateways which send the data to the cloud. From the cloud, you can then drill into those analytics and data, but that's also how you would look at booking seats. So let's look at this from a user's perspective, and let's look at how easy it is to book a space. On here, you can see some seats are available because they're green, or red because they're already booked. On the left-hand side, you can see there's the calendar. You'll see that's set at 2 weeks. This is customizable, but with seats, and this is what we're going to focus on today, seats rather than rooms, you don't want to go out too far because you want to make sure that you're not overbooking. You can book all day at the click of a button, or you can pick a time. You'll see every time anything's been selected, the suggestions on the bottom left are moving. That's because it's picking up my suggestions. Those yellow circles with the star is telling me what I'm used to picking. That's what I would typically put. So it's following my behaviours and saying, these are your preferred. However, I selected a different seat there. And you'll also see that it popped up and said that it was successfully booked. What is commonly needed, certainly in large offices, is filters. You're going to want to filter by department or by desk choice. And in some cases, you will actually only see the selection that you would be available to book. So for example, my team or neighbourhood. Again, you'll see suggestions changing, and you can see on here my preferred seats. This is building up a behavioural pattern of everything that I do. On the left-hand side, you can see where I've booked, and actually I'm going to change those seat details. I've currently got it booked 3 till 4, but actually I want to change that. You'll see at the bottom there's a green line which says it's available. So whilst changing it and then confirming it, it will move to red. And I've successfully created my booking. You see that flash up on the screen. Confirming the bookings, you get an email. That pop-up that said successfully booked, that's a pop-up that will indicate in the application that your seat is booked and held. You'll get an email. That email tells you the seat, which is again bespoke to your organisation, the date and the time that you've booked that. You can go in and edit from that email, or you can cancel the booking from that email. You can also go directly into the application and look at the My Bookings tab. Those are ordered by date, and you can find what has automatically cancelled. I will go through those later, that you can rebook again. You can go into any of them and cancel that booking or edit that booking. Anything you do, you will get a confirmation email to confirm what you have actually changed or amended within your booking. So the one thing we're very aware of, and we've learnt very significantly from meeting room booking, is how to make this as intelligent as possible. So as well as being able to look at the actual data itself to know for booking versus actual, it's also being able to look at my data, who I'm picking, so it's picking up my human behaviour and looking to what's easy for me. But I know I'm a human. I know that I might forget things. So I might get a reminder that's going to come through. Now, if I booked for an all day, my reminder will come through the afternoon of the day before. So it gives me plenty of time to know whether or not I want to cancel that booking. If I've booked, like on this example here, I've booked for 8:30 in the morning. Now I get that email come through to me before that. So it's reminding me that I have a booking at 8:30. Now, I don't need to do anything with that unless I choose to, and I'll explain why. So I'm going into my space. I'm going to go and sit at my desk for 8:30. I'm going to be on time. I don't need to do anything with this at all. It's just a simple reminder should I need it. I'm on my way. When I sit at the desk, the sensor will trigger that I'm at my desk. Then that has checked me in. So my seat is now being used. Just simply going about my day and turning up on the desk that I've booked. But I also know that sometimes my traveling cannot be so kind. Sometimes there'll be delays. Sometimes I might not get in at the time I'm needing to. So that reminder would come in really helpful for me because I know I'm not going to be there for 8:30. Maybe I'm going to arrive at 9:15, maybe 9:30, but I know I'm going to need that space. By confirming my attendance, that will automatically hold my desk. So automatically checks me in, if you like. It books me into that space, even though I'm not there yet. It gives me that chance to hold my space because I'm running late or because my plans are slightly deviating. I have to get there in time. But with that reminder, I could also cancel or edit my booking. So what if I don't see the email? And then what if I don't turn up? So I forgot to cancel. It happens. I didn't respond to the reminders and I didn't arrive on time. Because I didn't turn up in time, in order to be able to trigger and activate my check-in, I also didn't do anything with the reminder email. I didn't click confirm to say I was going to be there. It's going to assume that I've forgotten or I'm no longer going to attend to that desk. So after the time that I was due to attend, and it gives the time lag to cater for slight lateness as well, it will make sure it covers for that. But at some point it needs to cancel to release that space back out. Once that's cancelled and that space is now relinquished back out there for other people to book, you would get a cancellation email telling you your space that you had booked has been cancelled. You can immediately go back in there and rebook, and assuming someone hasn't jumped in and booked that space that you had, or you can pick another seat if that seat has gone. The purpose behind this is to make sure that we know that human behaviour says errors happen, that people's diaries are busy, that sometimes this will happen. And therefore, having that auto cancellation will enable people to be able to rebook that space. Currently, what you're probably seeing is there's very few people within the office environment. So booking for a whole day, a no-show hasn't got a huge impact. However, the office will become a lot more transient, and at some point booking will become a lot more critical. So getting that behaviour in now will really help before the office becomes to get more busy. So why is an intelligent booking system so critical? It needs to be easy to use. The easier it is to use, the easier the adoption. Having recommendations based on my personal interaction, so following my behaviour, what do I typically book, will really help make it easy for me to go, yes, that's the desk I want. Support for real life human behaviour. as much as possible. So catering for the fact that a booking may be forgotten or missed, or someone may be late, being able to cater for as many different scenarios as possible, being able to hold your space when appropriate, but also to release. Releasing unused space is really going to be critical as the office becomes more busy, especially if people are booking short spaces of time and therefore being able to free that back up again to allow people to use. So for example, if I'm booking up for half a day, they want to be able to free that up for somebody else to use. The office will absolutely become more fluid and have busier days and times throughout the week. So it's catering for that, especially when we consider with hybrid working, people be coming into the office at different times and different times of the week. But also you may have made decisions to reduce some of the desk space or increase some of the collaboration space. So what does that mean to your working environment? When we look at our analytics, we can say for what we used to see, for example, was the Friday factor. Pre-pandemic, it was very common that Fridays was very low on utilisation. It was typically a quieter day in the office in a number of organisations, not every organisation, obviously. What we would anticipate post-pandemic, as people are coming back to the office in more of a hybrid type working environment, you could probably expect to see Mondays and Fridays relatively quiet, but the middle of the week will get a lot busier. Now, with that middle of the week getting busier, it's making sure that the right type of space is available for the right type of individuals. But also, if you think of that from a desk perspective, it's making sure there is space available in order for people to work. If you cannot find a space to work, and it's not easy to find a place to work, more frequently, working from home will become the easiest option for everybody. So enabling an office that has that space available and can also ensure that it brings that engagement into the workplace is really, really important. With our solution on space occupancy and utilisation technology, we use different sensors for different areas, be it desks, phone booths, focus rooms, meeting rooms, depending on what it is you're looking to capture. Understanding how many people are in a meeting room, for example, is just as important in some cases as knowing whether or not it's occupied or available. Having that data to understand how your whole workplace is being utilised, being able to have the power of those analytics to drill down and see how everyone is interacting with their space will help to be able to make sure the workplace remains relevant. Some key takeaways. We offer a multi-purpose solution that supports ease of booking, analytics to assist with keeping environment relevant to support types of engagement. By that, it means understanding how people are utilising the space and how they're working with the space. Being able to get that all important booking versus actual usage. I may book a desk for a whole day, but in reality, I'm probably sat there 20% of it. I'm using collaboration spaces, I'm using meeting rooms, I'm catching up with colleagues. Being able to view availability in a snapshot. I showed you at the beginning where you could see the green and the red dots and see how people were looking and moving around the workplace. So you could see at a snapshot how that availability is across there. As I stated, the office will become more fluid and have busier days and times during the week. So gathering that data will help enable you to make it relevant and the right space is available at the right time. It may be that you have some of these solutions in place. It may be that you have a booking solution. It's good to be able to pull the two data together. If there's any different scenarios that you'd like to talk about, please do contact us. This has been a quick snapshot focusing around the booking solution. However, it's the wider picture of why booking is important and giving more of a flavour as to how our solution is different. We haven't touched at all on this presentation around environmental factors. Measuring things like CO2, humidity and temperature are really critical to understanding the safety of the workplace. As the occupancy increases, it impacts the environmental factors, which can have the concern of ease of transmission of viruses, which is very front of mind for all of us at the moment. But also, when you think of CO2 levels, it's productivity and all those elements as well. We'll be covering those in the future, so please look out for that on a future one. And although I've touched on it to give you an overview of our whole solution, we will be spending some time on the power of the analytics as well. So actually drilling in on that data and how that can help you as a business to understand how best you could use that data to make sure that office and the workplace remains relevant and a place that people want to engage with. I'm Lucy Fox. Here's my email address. If there's anything you'd wish to flag with me, please do contact me directly. You can, of course, contact us directly through our website. I'd also want to draw your attention that we're relevant for two elements of content. One is the Shaping of the Future of the Workplace, which is an ebook to download, which very much covers some of the thoughts around hybrid working. So if that's something you're considering, it'd be really worth reading through that. And it's very focused on why the data is so important to enable you with your data-led strategy in your workplace. And a second one, there was a return to work survey in 2021, pulling out some of the key things that employees were thinking about and employers were thinking about with regards to returning to the office and what was important and what was critical. I hope you found today useful, and thank you very much for your time.